Most people think peak performance is about working harder, and it's not. Peak performance is about working with precision. High performers don't do more. They do what matters consistently, under pressure without needing motivation. If you feel busy but not progressing, this video is for you. If you set goals every year but rarely execute them fully, this video is for you. If you know what to do but struggle to follow through, this video is for you. Because the problem is not your ambition. The problem is your execution system. Peak performance is not a personality trait. It is a structure. And once you understand that structure, results become predictable. Let's start with the most uncomfortable truth. Most people don't fail because their goals are too big. They fail because their goals are too vague. I want to be successful. I want more money. I want a better life. These are not goals, they are wishes. High performers define outcomes with surgical clarity, not what they want, but what will exist as proof. A clear goal answers 3 questions immediately. What does success look like in measurable terms? By when? And what must happen daily for this to be inevitable? If you cannot answer these questions, your brain has nothing to organize around. Clarity creates focus, focus creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. This is why peak performers obsess over defining the target before taking action. They understand that energy without direction is wasted effort. The second principle of peak performance is constraint. Low performers give themselves unlimited time. High performers work inside tight boundaries. Deadlines are not pressure, they are alignment tools. When time is limited, priorities reveal themselves. When everything is urgent, nothing is important. High performers decide in advance. What will not be done? This is critical. Peak performance is not about adding habits. It is about subtracting distractions. Every unnecessary commitment drains execution power. Every unfocused task weakens momentum. If you want higher performance, you must protect your attention aggressively. Attention is your most valuable asset. Where it goes, results follow. The third principle is identity-driven execution. Most people try to achieve goals as someone they are not yet. They say, once I succeed, I'll become disciplined. High performers reverse this. They act as the person who already keeps commitments. Identity precedes outcome. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. If your identity is inconsistent, your results will be inconsistent. Peak performers build identity through daily evidence. They don't ask, how do I feel today? They ask, what would a disciplined person do next? This removes emotion from execution. Emotion is unreliable, systems are stable, which leads us to the fourth principle, energy management. Peak performance is not about time management. It is about energy control. You can have 8 free hours and still get nothing done if your energy is scattered. High performers structure their day around their highest cognitive output. They protect their best hours. They schedule demanding work when focus is strongest. They eliminate decision fatigue. This is not laziness. This is strategy. If you try to perform at a high level while exhausted, distracted, and overstimulated, you will fail no matter how motivated you are. Peak performers understand. Recovery is part of performance. Sleep is not optional. Movement is not optional. Mental reset is not optional. Burnout is not a badge of honor. It is a sign of poor systems. The fifth principle is ruthless prioritization. High performers operate on leverage. They ask, what is the one action that makes everything else easier or irrelevant? They do not confuse motion with progress. Busy people check tasks. Effective people create results. If your to-do list has more on 3 priorities, you have none. Peak performance requires deciding what truly moves the needle. This means saying no to good opportunities to protect great ones. This is difficult. It requires emotional maturity, but without prioritization, effort is diluted. The sixth principle is feedback loops. Most people avoid feedback because it threatens their ego. High performers seek feedback because it accelerates growth. They track progress. They measure output. They review performance without emotion. Data removes illusion. If you're not tracking something, you are guessing. Peak performers run weekly reviews. What worked, what didn't. What must change next week? This turns failure into information. Information is power. The seventh principle is consistency under resistance. Anyone can perform when conditions are perfect. Peak performance is about execution when conditions are imperfect, when motivation is low, when results are slow, when no one is watching. This is where most people collapse. They negotiate with discomfort. They delay. They wait for a better moment. High performers do not wait. They act tired. They act uncertain. They act anyway. This is not force. This is training. Every time you execute despite resistance, you strengthen your identity. Every time you quit early, you weaken it. Confidence grows from follow-through. The eighth principle is long-term orientation. Low performers optimize for comfort today. High performers optimize for advantage tomorrow. They understand that small daily actions compound. Peak performance is boring. It is repetitive. It is unglamorous. And that is why it works. You do not need massive breakthroughs. You need consistent execution of fundamentals. High performers win because they stay in the game longer. They don't chase shortcuts. They build foundations. Now let's bring this together into a simple execution framework you can use immediately. First, define one primary goal for the next 90 days. 1, not 5. Second, translate that goal into a daily non-negotiable action. Something small enough to do even on bad days. Third, design your environment to reduce friction. Remove distractions. Prepare tools in advance. Make execution easier than avoidance. Fourth, schedule execution into your calendar. If it's not scheduled, it's optional. Fifth, review weekly without emotion. Adjust systems, not self-worth. This is a peak performance. Not hype, not hustle culture, not motivation. Just structure, discipline, and clarity. You do not need to become someone else to perform at a higher level. You need to become more consistent with who you decide to be. Peak performance is not about pushing harder. It is about aligning better. And once alignment is built, results follow naturally. If you're serious about peak performance, don't just listen, apply. Subscribe to Ascend Mindset for structured mindset training, execution systems, and high-performance thinking. Like this video to reinforce the lesson, and comment below with the one goal you are committing to for the next 90 days.